This conference will now be recorded.
So in today's session, we are going to discuss about lighting framework, and we have to understand what exactly lighting framework, why should we go for lighting framework, and what are the various lighting frameworks that we have in Salesforce, and what are the various drawbacks that we have in the classic user interface, and what benefits that we have with lighting framework, and how to build lighting components, and how can we access those components from the different places. We'll see. And how these lighting components will work internally, what is the basic architectural changes that Salesforce made as part of this lighting framework when compared with classic, and what is the history of this lighting framework. Okay, we'll see practically today. Now, so basically, lighting framework is a user interface framework. It's a user interface framework. Lighting framework is a user interface framework which is used to design the attractive and responsive user interfaces for both desktop and mobile applications. That means upon building your own custom applications as part of your business requirement, it may be sales related, service related, marketing related, banking related, finance or insurance or anything, whatever, upon building your own custom applications, whatever the user interfaces are required, those user interfaces we can design by using Lightning Framework. Now, then what is the use of this lighting framework? By using this lighting framework, we can design our own user interfaces with attractive look and feel. That means we can make that user interface look like attractive. So it's like as okay, a makeup toolkit to make your user interface look like attractive. So we can apply your own font, we can apply your own styles and the size, colors, everything, whatever you want. And then we can make this user interface accessible from different devices. Not only accessing this application, not only accessing this user interface only by using browser, we can make this user interface can be accessible through mobile apps also. Now, so in this case, Lightning Framework is a user interface framework. It is purely concentrating on front end part. That means user interface part, not back end business logics. For back end business logics, already we have Apex. Now, in order to build your own customized user interfaces, so whatever the attractive user interfaces that you want, we can design with the help of Lightning Framework, which can be accessible from both the desktop and mobile apps. Desktop apps means what here? By using your desktops also, laptops also, we can use any other device which we can use to access through browser itself. If you are accessing the application through browser, then it is called as desktop. And if you are accessing that application through mobile app, I don't want to use a browser. I want to use that mobile app. Through the mobile app, I would like to access these user interfaces. So that in order to make your user interfaces can be accessible through by using desktop and the mobile apps, we are using like a Lightning Framework. Now, it's purely concentrating on designing part of your application. It's purely concentrating on designing part of your application so that we can design the user interface with attractive look and feel. Okay? Now, so now here in this case, let's see. So what is the use of this Lightning framework? Okay, how the Lightning framework has been introduced by Salesforce. We'll see the history also today. Okay, now let me give the note point over here. Lightning framework is a user interface framework. UI framework which is used to design attractive and responsive user interfaces which can be accessible from both desktop and mobile applications. Now, by using Lightning framework, we can design attractive user interfaces with the required font, color, size, style, etc., etc. Done with this? Now, let's see. Now, so now here you can raise a question. Sir, why Salesforce introduced Lightning framework? Okay, why Salesforce introduced Lightning framework? So now because initially Salesforce introduced the Salesforce CRM in the year 2000. In the year 2000, Salesforce introduced the three classifications of cloud computing services. Now, let me explain. In the year 2000, Salesforce introduced three classifications of services. Now, then during that time here, I will give the note points and let me explain the concept. So now during that time, they have introduced SaaS services, they have introduced PaaS services, they have introduced IaaS also. These are the three classifications of services introduced by Salesforce as part of organization in the year 2000. Now, SaaS. SaaS stands for what? Software as a service. That means Salesforce introduced some ready-made softwares also to the customers as a service. That means they're offering some ready-made softwares also to the customers on rental basis. So as part of this SaaS feature, they have provided a ready-made application called as Salesforce CRM. Salesforce introduced a ready-made application called as a Salesforce CRM to the customers on rental basis, which can be accessible just with the help of browser and internet access without having any explicit installations in your local device. without installing anything in our local system. Just with the help of browser and the internet access, we can access this Salesforce CRM application. Now, here you can raise a question. Sir, by using this CRM, we can automate sales data, service data, marketing data. Then what about the remaining domains? What about the remaining organizations like as banking, finance, insurance, healthcare, pharmaceutical, e-commerce? What about them? So for that one, Salesforce is not only offering simply the ready-made CRM application, they have introduced a platform also as a service. Now they have introduced platform as a service. So what is that platform offered by Salesforce? They have offered a cloud-based platform that is called as Force.com platform. By using this Force.com platform, we can build our own custom applications. Okay, we can build our own custom applications also. We can build banking applications, finance applications, insurance, healthcare, pharmaceutical, everything. So by using this Force.com platform, we can build all the functionalities also over here. Then what is the need of this Lightning framework now? Why Salesforce will come up with a new framework that is called as Lightning framework here. So what drawbacks that we have in Force.com platform and what benefits that we have in Lightning framework? We can now, let me explain one by one. Let me explain the history of Lightning framework over here. What are all the features are available? Let me explain. Okay, now let's see. Now, let me explain. So that already we know Salesforce introduced the CRM application in the year 2000, and during that time they have introduced Force.com platform also. Okay, they have introduced Force.com platform also in the year 2000. Now that already we know that in the year 2000 they have introduced Force.com platform, which is used to build your own custom applications. Force.com platform. So because that already we know, Salesforce.com organization has started in March 1999. Salesforce is not a new technology. Salesforce is available in the IT industry since March 1999. In March 1999, they have started this company with two employees in US in a two-bedroom apartment. From there, they are purely concentrating on cloud services. So in the year 2000, they have introduced Salesforce CRM application and they have introduced a platform called as Force.com platform. So now Salesforce CRM application is used to automate your sales data, service data, and the marketing data. In order to build your own custom applications like as a banking, finance, insurance, healthcare, pharmaceutical, so that here to build your own custom applications, they have introduced a platform called as Force.com platform, which is a cloud-based platform which can be accessible just with the help of browser and internet access. Now, now tell me, in this Force.com platform, what programming languages are available here? Force.com is for what? To build our own. If you want to build your own applications, we need to write some piece of code, right? Yes, definitely. In order to write that piece of code, which programming languages we need to use? Now, in that case, in the year 2000, Salesforce introduced two programming languages. They have introduced two programming languages. First one, Apex. Second one, S controls. First one, Apex. Second one, S controls. No visual force. Okay, please remember the point here. No visual force. In the year 2000, okay, upon introducing this force.com platform, Salesforce people introduced okay two programming languages as part of this force.com platform. First one, Apex programming. Second one, yes controls. Now, basically, this Apex programming is for server side. Apex is for server side. Server side programming. Apex is for server side. Yes controls is for client side. Client side means user interface. User interface, the browser, whatever the browser that we have called, simply we can say browser also. Okay. So whatever the browser that we are going to be referencing, that browser is also called as client. So they have introduced two programming languages at that time, Apex programming and the S controls. Apex is used to build the business logic which will be executing in the server side. Yes controls are implemented in order to design your own user interface. To design the user interface with attractive look and feel, they have introduced S controls. Now, but this S controls is purely built upon Ajax toolkit. Yes controls is purely built upon Ajax toolkit. Okay, Ajax toolkit. So Ajax stands for asynchronous JavaScript and XML. Ajax stands for asynchronous JavaScript and XML. Now, now in this case, this yes controls is purely built upon Ajax toolkit. Ajax is a third party. Okay, it's a third party. It's a third party library which contains a collection of functionalities which we can adopt upon building our own applications. So especially for the user interface design, okay, they have introduced S controls. These S controls are purely built upon Ajax toolkit. Ajax is a third-party toolkit which they have adopted. Through this Ajax toolkit, they have built their own S controls. Through these S controls, we can able to design our own user interfaces, and then we can place our own text boxes, button controls, check boxes, pick list controls, table controls, everything we can able to place, and upon click on the button to perform some actions, they're using Apex program. For server side they're using Apex, for the client side they're using S controls. Now in this case here, as part of this S controls, in order to understand this S controls, you should be aware of both HTML and we should be aware of JavaScript. You should be aware of both HTML and the JavaScript. So Ajax toolkit is a combination of HTML and the JavaScript. Okay, HTML and the JavaScript. So these two will be comes under the client side, that means user interface side, browser side, and then Apex will be at the server side over here. Okay, understood the concept over here? Now, so in the year 2000, Salesforce introduced Force.com platform. As part of Force.com platform, we are building our own custom applications. We can design our own user interfaces. We can build our own business logics based on the business needs. At that time, to design that user interface, we are using S controls. To build the business logics, we are using Apex programming. Now, in that case, the difficult thing is understanding S controls. Because these S controls are not own framework of Salesforce, they have adopted a third-party library called as Ajax Toolkit, asynchronous and JavaScript and XML. So now Ajax is a third-party toolkit, which is Salesforce people has used this Ajax toolkit. Through this Ajax toolkit, they have built their own controls called as yes controls. These yes controls we are using as part of our application development. Upon making the changes in the application level, then the people are facing so many difficulties. because the people should be the experts in HTML and JavaScript over here. Okay, so the people are facing so many difficulty while designing the user interfaces during the year, okay, 2000. Now, in this case here, to avoid this kind of problems, right now this Ajax is a third party. Now, right now this is available in the market. Maybe in future it may be available, it may not be available here. Okay, now in that case, what about our applications? Our applications will be getting affected. So now all our custom applications will be getting impacted. So that here, what they have decided is Salesforce people don't want to continue with this Ajax toolkit. They don't want to use S controls. Instead of this S controls, they want to design their own web development framework. So that here in the year 2007, in the year 2007, Salesforce people has implemented a replacement for its controls that is called as Visual Force. Visual Force programming is not available from the beginning. Visual Force is available from 2007 onwards. In 2007, Salesforce people introduced Visual Force programming, which is used to replace this S controls because S controls is purely built upon Ajax toolkit. Ajax is a third party. Right now, we are depending on third party people. Suppose in future, if the third party components are not available, then our applications will be getting affected over here. Now, right now, really, this Ajax toolkit is not available. So while starting my career in 2004, 2006, okay, during that time we have Ajax toolkit, but now Ajax toolkit is not available. Okay, so for that reason here, Salesforce people, okay, these people are a step ahead, so that here they are going to be avoiding this Ajax toolkit functionality by introducing a replacement called as Visual Force. Now, to replace this as controls in the year 2007, they have introduced Visual Force programming. Now, in the year 2007, they have introduced Visual Force programming. They have introduced their own web development framework. Not only the server side, client side functionality also has to be built from by using our programming itself. So that they have introduced Visual Force programming. Now, they have introduced this Visual Force programming in the year 2007. Okay, now, then what is the benefit of this Visual Force programming here? Now, in this case, instead of using the Visual CS controls, we are going to be using the help of Visual Force programming. So, what is the benefit of this Visual Force programming? Visual Force programming provides so many built-in functionalities inside it. Okay, Visual Force provides so many built-in functionalities. Instead of using this HTML, we can use Visual Force programming related tags also. Visual Force provides a collection of built-in tags which we can use to design our own user interfaces. To place the button controls, we have a separated tag. To place the text box, separated tag. For checkbox, separated tag. For a table, separated tag. For a grid control, separated tag. So that here most of the functionalities are available in Visual Force programming. So they have introduced this Visual Force programming in the year 2007. Visual Force provides so many built-in tags ready-madely here. So we no need to learn HTML, we no need to learn JavaScript. So now all the built-in functionalities are available inside Visual Force tags itself. So as part of this Visual Force, we are having so many built-in tags are available here. Built-in tags. Like we have so many tags are available. Like Apex, page tag, and then we have Apex farm tag, we have Apex page block tag, we have Apex section header tag, we have Apex page block section tag, we have Apex now page block table, to design your own tables. Like that here, we are having so many built-in tags are available as part of Visual Force programming. So Visual Force programming means okay, user interface design simple. You no need to learn HTML. You no need to write some lengthy code by your own. So most of the functionalities are available in this tags built in. So these are having so many functionalities ready-madely available over here. Just we can able to use these tags to design the user interface very easily. So now in this case here, from there onwards here, from 2007 onwards, Salesforce is having huge demand in the market because development time has been reduced. Because everything we can able to build by using Apex programming and Visual Force programming over here. Visual Force is for user interface design, and the Apex programming is for okay backend business logics. In that too, learning these Visual Force tags are very simple. Most of the functionalities are ready-madely available in this tags itself. So that here, so many clients started using Salesforce because development part has been reduced. Then that too, finding the workforce is very easy. Finding the workforce means what? Finding the resources. Finding the developers are very easy because we no need to be having the master level programming skills. Even though if you know some little bit programming knowledge, you can manage your job very easily here. Because here it doesn't have much coding part has been completely minimized because most of the functionalities has been implemented by Salesforce as part of this tax itself. That's what here through Visual Force programming we can able to design our own customized user interfaces now. So through Visual Force, whatever the user interfaces that we have implemented, those are called as classic user interfaces. This is called as classic development. This is called as classic development. By using this Visual Force programming, whatever the user interfaces that we have designed, those are comes under classic development here. Okay, clear up to this one? Now, so now in this case here, from there onwards, okay, so many clients have started using Salesforce. Not only the sales related people, not only the service and the marketing related people, each and every organization, banking organizations, financial organizations, insurance organizations, e-commerce organizations, everybody has started using Salesforce. During the time okay they have captured so many clients, they have captured most of the market also. So many people have started using Salesforce now. So now from there onwards here, the people are started using Salesforce. They're using the help of Apex programming, they're using the help of Visual Force programming. By using these two programming languages, they are building their own custom applications whatever they need. Okay, now, so now in this case here, so now the applications are very working very fine. There is no issues. The clients are also very happy. Developers are also very happy because they don't need much technical skills. So now in this case here, now almost from 2010 onwards, 2010 or 2012 onwards, 2010 or 2012 onwards, usage of mobile apps are very high. Before that, before 2010, usage of mobile apps are very rare cases. During that time, people are using only basic model of mobiles, which is having a small QWERTY keypad. It is having a small display unit. From 2010 onwards, okay, once the smartphones has introduced into the market, usage of smartphones are very high. From 2010 or 2012 onwards, usage of smartphones are very high. Everybody is using smartphones. So in order to perform their own transactions, people are using okay, mobile apps. They're using the mobile apps in order to okay, access their applications, in order to perform their own transactions through online. They are not using browser, they are not using a normal desktop and laptop devices. Simply they are using a smartphone, they are accessing the application with the help of internet, they are going to be doing the transaction through online. Now, in that case here, when coming to the Salesforce, in Visual Force, in classic development, they have identified some difficulties. Salesforce people has identified some drawbacks in this Visual Force programming. That means here, whatever the classic development that we have, in this classic development, in this user interfaces, in this Visual Force programming, Salesforce people identified few drawbacks. Then what are the drawbacks they have identified? Now let me explain. Now, as part of these drawbacks, as part of this Visual Force programming, Salesforce people has identified few drawbacks. Now, the first drawback. The first problem in Visual Force programming is Visual Force is not providing attractive look and feel. That is the first problem. Whatever the user interface that we are designing through Visual Force programming, those user interfaces are not providing attractive look and feel. Okay, we can't make that user interface look like rich. So we can't do that much customizations over here. That is the first problem. The first drawback in Visual Force programming is, so now Salesforce people have identified the first problem. Visual Force user interfaces are not looking like attractive. It needs some more attractive look and feel. Now, that is the first problem. Second problem is, whatever the user interfaces we're designing through Visual Force programming, those user interfaces are not mobile friendly interfaces. Okay, those user interfaces are not mobile friendly. That means what? Whatever the user interfaces we have designed through Visual Force programming, those user interfaces we can access through browser, but we can't access from mobile app. That is the second problem here. The second problem is user interfaces which has been designed through Visual Force programming, those can be accessible through mobile app. Okay, that is the second problem here. This can be accessible through browser. Even though if you are using a smartphone, go to the Chrome browser, you can log in into the application, we can access it. But by using Salesforce mobile app, you can't access it over here. That is a problem. That is a difficulty over here. Okay, next. Third problem here. As part of this Visual Force programming, Salesforce people has identified some performance issues. Because so whatever the user interface that we are going to construct, the whole user interface is like as a single unit, it's like as a bundle. So now if you want to make some changes in the user interface, it will be very difficult. The whole user interface we have to redesign again. That is a problem. Upon customizing that user interface, it will be very very difficult as part of Visual Force programming. Okay, and the two, Visual Force is taking more time to process the request, which will be impacting on the application performance. Okay, which will be impacting on application performance here. Okay, and then as part of this Visual Force is purely supporting classic MVC. That means it will be purely supporting model view controller architecture. It will be purely supporting model, view, and the controller architecture. So these are the few difficulties they have identified as part of Visual Force programming. The first drawback is Visual Force programming user interfaces are not looking like attractive. Second one, Visual Force user interfaces are not mobile friendly. That means we can't access these user interfaces through mobile apps. Third one, customizing these user interfaces are bit typical. Okay, it will take more time. We have to redesign the whole user interface. Fourth one, as part of Visual Force, Salesforce people has identified some performance issues. Okay, next. Fifth one, Visual Force is purely supporting MVC application development. That means MVC architecture, model, view, controller architecture. These are the five difficulties they have identified as part of this Visual Force programming. Okay, now let me list out these drawbacks here. Visual Force user interfaces, Visual Force won't provide attractive look and feel. Now, second one, Visualforce user interfaces are not mobile friendly interfaces. Not mobile friendly. Third one, now, making customization will take more time. Fourth one, it causes the performance issues. It causes the performance issues. Fifth one, it purely supports MVC architecture. It purely supports MVC architecture. Like that, they have identified few drawbacks as part of this Visualforce programming. In plastic development, they have identified some drawbacks. These are the various drawbacks Salesforce people has identified as part of Visualforce. Done with this? Now, so now in this case, as part of this Visualforce, these are the difficulties they have identified. Now, from 2010 onwards, okay, usage of mobile apps are very, very high. But so Salesforce user interfaces can be accessible through browser and the internet access, not from the mobile app. Because they are using the Visualforce programming, Visualforce user interfaces are not mobile friendly interfaces. We can't access them through mobile apps. So now in this case here, Salesforce people got an idea. Why can't we make our Salesforce CRM application can be accessible through mobile app also? Because everybody is building some mobile apps. Through the mobile apps only, their customers are accessing the application, they're performing the transaction. But as of now, we have plenty of customers who are using our applications, who are using our CRM application, who has built their own applications also. So why can't we make our Salesforce CRM application also can be accessible through mobile app? Because our CRM application will be accessing by whom? Sales team, service team, marketing team. Now tell me, these people are always sitting in a specific location in the office? No. These people are not sitting in the office always. Marketing people are keep on moving around the different locations to promote our products by using various marketing channels. My sales team is keep on moving around the different customers locations to sell out our products. My service team is keep on moving around the different locations of the customers to give the services. In this case, the people are always out of office. These people are always working outside, they're working in the field. In this case, whatever the CRM application that we have built, that application is mainly accessing by these people. But these people are unable to access through mobile app because our CRM application is purely cloud application which can be accessible through browser internet access. Now, in this case, they got an idea why can't we make our Salesforce CRM also can be accessible through mobile app? If it is possible, then our sales team, service team, marketing team, they can access my application from any place in the world, even though they may be in the field, even though they may be in the office, even though maybe they may be in the customer's location, they can access my application through a mobile app. They can able to operate our business also. So for that reason, in 2014, Salesforce people has introduced a feature called as Lightning Experience. Okay, Lightning Experience, not the Lightning Framework. Lightning Experience is different. Lightning Framework is different. Okay, now in 2014 they have introduced Lightning Experience. In 2014, Salesforce people has introduced Lightning Experience. Now, this is also called as Salesforce 1. During that time, this is also called as Salesforce 1. Now, they have introduced Lightning Experience in 2014. Then, what is this Lightning Experience over here? What is the benefit of that? Now, by using this Lightning Experience, Salesforce people has upgraded the Salesforce CRM application only, not our custom applications, not our custom user interfaces, okay, not our business logics. Whatever the Salesforce CRM application they have built, they made that Salesforce CRM application can be accessible through mobile apps also. That means they had a trial. Okay, they had a trial. Now, initially they had a trial on Salesforce CRM application. Suppose if it is successful, then we will introduce a platform also for our customers so that they can build their own applications also by using Lightning framework so that they can make their application also can be accessible through mobile apps. So that here initially they had a trial to make this a Salesforce CRM application also can be accessible through mobile apps so that they have introduced Lightning Experience. Now, so now here, that's what here, when you go to your Salesforce account, you will be having the option switch it to Lightning Experience. Okay, that's what you are having the option switch it to Lightning Experience here. To make your Salesforce CRM application can be accessible through mobile app, Salesforce people has introduced a platform called as Salesforce One platform that is also called as Lightning Experience in 2014. Now, through this Lightning Experience, Salesforce people has converted the CRM application, only CRM application, sales application, service application, marketing application. They have converted that Salesforce CRM application to Lightning user interface to make that CRM application can be accessible through browser also and through mobile app also, both. Okay, so to make the application can be accessible from the mobile app, they have introduced Lightning Experience over here. Now, so now it has been successfully deployed. All the people are accessing the CRM application from mobile app also here, then fine. Most of the functionalities are accessing through mobile apps. They're performing the transaction through online by using any smart device also here. Then later, customers has raised a request, boss, you made your Salesforce CRM application into Lightning Experience. Then what about our applications now? What about our applications? We have built so many applications as of now, banking related, finance related, insurance related, so many applications we have built, but still we are accessing through browser only here, not through mobile app. Then do we have any chance? Do we have any platform with you through which we can able to make my custom application also can be accessible through mobile app? So now in that case, during that time, Salesforce won't have any of their own platform. They don't have any platform over here. Simply, they have converted that CRM application to mobile app accessible, mobile app compatible with the help of Lightning Experience. And then, in this case here, now so many customers has requested we need a platform also through which we can build our own Lightning applications as well, so that we can able to design our own customized Lightning user interfaces, so we can make our application can be accessible through mobile app as well. So for that reason, in 2016, Salesforce people has introduced a Lightning framework. Lightning framework that is called as ARA framework. In 2016, Salesforce people has introduced Lightning framework. In 2016, Salesforce people has introduced Lightning framework. Now, this Lightning framework is also called as ARA framework. ARA framework, Lightning framework, both are same, no difference. Okay. In 2016, Salesforce people has introduced a framework called as Lightning framework that is also called as ARA framework. So now why it is called as ARA framework here? What is the use? Okay. Now let me explain. So now in order to introduce their own framework, in order to introduce this particular Lightning framework, they need a platform. They need a programming language here. Now, but during that time, Salesforce don't have their own client-side programming language, so they have adopted a open source programming called as ARA. ARA is an open source. Open source means what? Which is available in internet and free. And free. Now. So now ARA, the open source means which is available in the internet and free. So now nowadays in internet we are having so many softwares are available here which we can access on free of cost, like some VLC player also. We are having so many notepad collections also. So many other softwares are also available, or browsers also which are available in internet and free. Freely download, we can start utilizing. Now, so now ARA also one of the open source framework, open source programming language. So now, which is used to design your own user interfaces with attractive look and feel. Now, so during that time, Salesforce people are having Apex programming. Apex is only for server side. That means which is running in server side here. That means inside that Salesforce server. But they want a programming language which can run in client. Client means browser. Within the browser, it has to run. That means it doesn't require any server request. It no need to go to the server side. It no need to make a request to server. So we would like to stop the server request over here.
Hello. Sorry, your voice is not audible.
Yes, sir. It's not audible now. Sir, we can't able to hear you.
Now, so now let's see. As part of this ARA framework, this is also called as a Lightning framework over here. So now, in order to make the custom applications also can be built, okay, can accessible with the help of mobile app platform or the mobile apps, they have introduced this Lightning framework that is also called as ARA framework. So now ARA is an open source programming language which is available in the internet and free. So you no need to buy any license over here. Okay, we no need to buy any license. Now it doesn't require any installations which will be executing within the browser itself. Okay, which will be executing within the browser itself. Directly inside the browser, it can run. So that here, Salesforce people has adopted this ARA programming. Through this ARA programming, they have introduced a framework called as Lightning framework that is also called as ARA framework. By using this ARA framework, we can design our own customized user interfaces. Here, as part of this ARA framework, okay, they did some lot of changes over here. Because in the internet, whenever that we are having this ARA programming, all the functionalities will not be available. They will give some basic functionalities over here. Whatever the additional things are required, we need to build by our own. We need to extend by our own. So that here, Salesforce people have adopted this ARA programming. On top of this ARA programming, they have extended so many functionalities. They have added so many enhancements also by investing some lot of time, by investing some lot of investment as well. So now, and finally, they have introduced this ARA framework into the market in the year 2014. By using this ARA framework, we can able to design our own customized user interfaces, which can be accessible by using both with the help of browser and the mobile apps also. By using the browser, by using mobile app also, we can able to access your user interfaces, okay, which has been built by using ARA framework. So now in this case here, now whenever I'm using this ARA framework right now, in ARA framework, Salesforce introduced heavy coding. Okay, Salesforce introduced heavy coding as part of this ARA framework. If you want to develop a new component, if you want to develop a new feature, then we have to write some hundreds of lines of code. But as of now, Salesforce is very, very popular. Why? Because in Salesforce, coding is very, very less. Coding is very, very less. Even though I'm having some little bit okay programming skill, I'm able to manage my job very easily. Even though I'm a non-technical guy, I'm able to manage my job very easily on Salesforce. That's what here so many clients has adapted Salesforce okay implementations. But from 2016, Salesforce people introduced Lightning framework. Now from there onwards, they have introduced heavy coding here. They have introduced heavy coding. Now, during the time, whatever the Lightning framework license they have introduced, that is a chargeable. Now, in that case here, client didn't show interest to use Lightning framework. That's what in the initial days in 2016, Lightning is a failed model from Salesforce. Lightning is a failed model from Salesforce. Okay, in the initial days in 2016, clients didn't show interest to use Lightning framework because in order to work on this Lightning, people should be masters in programming. They have to aware of Apex programming, they have to aware of HTML, they have to aware of CSS, they have to aware of JavaScript. So many things they should be aware of. Then in that case, finding the developers who are having all these skills will be very, very difficult. So we are unable to find the resources. Suppose if you are finding the resources, then they will be in huge demand. So now they're expecting more. So we are unable to offer that much of packages to them. So now in that case, so now so many clients has faced this problem. That's what clients didn't show interest to use okay, Lightning framework in the initial days. So that Lightning framework is a failed model from Salesforce. Now, in that case, Salesforce people got an idea here. So now one of our major implementation is failed. One of our major investment is also failed. But Salesforce is having brand name in the market, and then in 2016 their major implementation Lightning framework is a failed model, but Salesforce people were unable to digest that one of our major implementation is failed. Now, for that reason, Salesforce people has investigated what are all the problems that we have in this ARA framework. Now they have identified few problems. So now in that case here, now they have decided they don't want to go with this ARA framework. They want to design their own framework here. Because right now ARA is open source, which is freely available in the internet here. Now, suppose in future, after some times, after some 5 to 7 years or 10 years, if ARA programming has made it as license, then we have to buy the license. If I'm unable to buy the license, then our application will not work. Our application will get affected. All our customers are using this ARA framework. All the customers' applications also will be getting affected here. So now for that reason, when coming to the Salesforce, so they would like to build their own framework so that they have introduced a new framework that is called as Lightning Web Components in 2018 December. In 2018 December, Salesforce people introduced their own framework that is called as Lightning Web Components. Now, in 2018 December, Salesforce introduced a new framework called as Lightning Web Components. It is also called as LWC. Okay. Now, so now ARA is the old one and the LWC is the latest one. Okay, got the difference here? If it is an ARA, ARA is not the own programming language from Salesforce. ARA is a open source programming language. Lightning Web Components is a purely built by Salesforce people. It's a own framework of Salesforce, and that too, Lightning Web Components will be the future for Salesforce implementations. In future, if you want to build any application from Salesforce, if you want to get a job on Salesforce, then you need mandatorily three things over here. Only three things. First one, admin part, that means configuration. Second one, Apex programming. Third one, LWC. These three are the base. Okay. Whenever you are observing any requirements over here from Salesforce or any other organization on Salesforce projects, these three are the mandatory over here. Now, so but in few companies here, they're expecting ARA also. Because in 2016 to 2019, almost, 2018 December means almost 2019. In this 3 years of time, these people has used this ARA framework. They have built so many applications over here by using ARA framework. Now, still they're continuing with that same ARA applications. Now they would like to rewrite. They want to migrate this application from ARA framework to Lightning framework. If you work on those existing applications, then we should be aware of ARA programming also, ARA framework also. Okay, whenever if they wants to migrate from ARA to Lightning Web Component, then we should be aware of both as well. Okay, so for that reason, so many clients are expecting ARA framework and the Lightning Web Component frameworks also both. But the future will be purely Lightning Web Components. Okay, because right now here both are available in the market over here, both are utilizing by the clients. But now from now onwards, whatever the projects where they are going to implement in future, those will be purely on Lightning Web Components. Okay, now let me explain a small major difference between these two ARA component and Lightning Web components. Basically, these two are purely implemented based on component-based framework. These two are implemented based on component-based framework. What do you mean by component-based framework? Component-based framework means whatever the functionality you are going to design, whatever the functionality you are going to implement, each functionality we are implementing in terms of small components. Okay, each functionality we are implementing in the form of small components. Okay, so now like for example, assume that we have this laptop. Now tell me, this complete laptop is a single part? No. This laptop is having so many internal parts are available. It is having a screen, it is having a keyboard, it is having a mouse feature, it is having SMPS, it is having like a motherboard, it is having that like a hard disk, it is having processor, like that. So many internal components are available here. Okay, now suppose if one component is not working, if one part is not working, then what can I do? Suppose motherboard has been failed, what can I do? Replace that motherboard here. Do I need to replace the whole laptop? No, just replace that component over here. This is a major difference over here. Now, if I'm implementing based on components here, if there is any changes are required, only that particular component will be getting affected, remaining will be working as it is. Just we can replace that. Now, in this case here also, these two frameworks are purely built upon component-based framework where each functionality we are implementing in the form of component. Whatever the features we are implementing in Lightning framework, each and every functionality will be implementing in the form of components, where component is nothing but a piece of reusable code. Component means a piece of reusable code which can be references in different places of the application development wherever we need. Now, suppose for example, we have a processor. Now, we have a processor here. Processor will be utilizing in the laptops also, in desktops also, in your mobiles also here. In different places you can use. Processor is same. Okay. Now, suppose I'm having a hard disk over here. We can use in laptop also, desktop also. We can connect to any other devices also over here. Now here also we can able to build once, we can use it in different places over here. That is a major advantage that we have in Lightning framework. That means component based framework. So that here, as part of this component based framework, each and every functionality should be implemented in the form of small components. Component is nothing but a piece of reusable code which can be developed once and which we can use in different places whenever we need, wherever we need. Okay, so now these two frameworks are purely concentrating on component based framework over here. Okay, now in this case here, these are the two frameworks. These are the two frameworks are available as of now here. Lightning component framework. Now, so we are having this Lightning component frameworks are available. So now we have two frameworks are available from Salesforce. First one, ARA framework, that is also called as Lightning framework. Second one, Lightning Web Component framework, which has been built by Salesforce in the year 2018. Okay, now let me explain the difference, major difference between these two here. By using this ARA framework also, we can build our own components. By using Lightning Web Components also, we can build our own components also. Now, but there is a difference between a component and a web component here. Component can be accessible within the Salesforce framework only here, within the Salesforce framework only. Components boundary, that means Lightning component boundary will be within the Salesforce applications only we can use this Lightning components. But the web components can be accessible from any web platform over here, not only in Salesforce. We can use this web component in Lightning framework also, Heroku also, SAP also, SharePoint also, any other platform we can use that. That is a major benefit that we have with the web component. Okay, Lightning component is different, web components are different. Lightning components can be accessible within the Salesforce framework only, not outside of the Salesforce framework, not from SAP, not from SharePoint, from Microsoft here, not from any other platform. This can be accessible only in Salesforce platform. But when you go to the web components can be accessible from Lightning framework also from Salesforce. It can be accessible from any other platforms also, from SAP platform also, from SharePoint platform, from Microsoft also, from Heroku platform also, from different places. We can make it accessible over here. The boundary will be global. Because the boundary will be global, so that we can develop once, we can use it in multiple places, in multiple applications, in multiple platforms also. That is a major benefit that we have in Lightning Web Components. Okay, clear up to this one? Now, this is the history of Lightning frameworks. So initially we are having Force.com platform with Apex programming and the S controls, and then we are having Visual Force, and then we are having Lightning Experience, and then we are having Lightning Framework, and then we are having Lightning Web Component. Now these are all our replacement for Visual Force. Apex is common, same Apex programming is available everywhere. Apex will be carried forward to all the places, but only for the Visual Force, only for look and feel, they're introducing some new changes over here. Okay, now. So like for example here, come to a small scenario. Now, see, for example. So now in this case, for example, here, just small general scenario. Assume that. So now assume that now we are going to so many wardrobe showrooms also to buy some clothes. Okay, it may be t-shirt or jeans or saris or anything, kids wear, anything here. Now, so since almost 10 years, we are keep on purchasing some clothes also here. T-shirts also, jeans also, saris. But in that case, the manufacturer will be the same. The cloth will be same, but keep on they're changing the designs. They're changing the colors also here to make it look like attractive here. The cloth will be the same. So they are going to be preparing that cloth, okay, by using that separate manufacturer here. The cloth will be the same manufacturer is manufacturing that, but on that cloth they're preparing the various designs. Designs will be keep on changing, colors will be keep on changing, depends upon the customer's request, depends upon the customer's expectations. They keep on introducing some new designs also. Here also the same. So now the functionality is up. Functionality will be the same, but the new changes we are going to be introducing in the user interface level. The backend Apex programming will be common. No change in that here. So now we are going to be introducing some new look and feels here, new face. So with that attractive look and feel. Okay? Understood the concept here? Next one more thing here. Whenever if you want to use this Lightning framework or Lightning Web Component framework, okay, we need JavaScript mandatorily here. We should be aware of JavaScript. JavaScript is must and should. Why? Because as part of Salesforce, in this Lightning frameworks, Salesforce people wants to reduce the usage of Apex programming. Because Apex programming will be executing where inside your Salesforce server. That means it will be sending a request to server. Server will take up my request. It has to process the request. It has to generate the response. It has to send back to me. So it will be having a server trip. So that it will take some time. Of course, it may be taking some milliseconds also, fraction of milliseconds also. It is taking some time to make a request to server. Now, in that case here, it is putting some request on the server. So server will be processing that. So it is putting some more load on the server. So to reduce that request on the server, to reduce the load on the server, so most of the business logic we are going to implement inside your browser level. Within our browser itself, I want to perform most of the operations. For that one here, we are using the help of JavaScript. We are using JavaScript. So now in this case, as part of this Lightning framework, it may be Aura, it may be Lightning Web Component also. In both the places, we need a common programming JavaScript. JavaScript is must and should. Without this JavaScript, you can't do anything as part of this Lightning framework. Because most of the business logics we are implementing with the help of JavaScript only, and then very little bit programming we are using with the help of Apex programming. Now, generally when you go to the Apex programming, we can able to use some SOQL queries to query some data from the database. We are using some DML statements to insert some records, to update some records, to delete some records. We are using some DML statements in Apex programming. But as part of this Lightning framework, we no need to use SOQL queries. We no need to use DML statements from Apex. Everything we can do through JavaScript itself. Okay, through JavaScript itself we can get the data from your Salesforce object. We can perform the operation, we can insert some records, we can update, we can delete, we can do everything through JavaScript itself. That popularity, that facilities are available in JavaScript. So that's what here JavaScript is very very popular nowadays. Now it's a very very powerful programming language here. Now, so that here, in order to work on this Lightning framework, it may be ARA, it may be LWC, JavaScript is must and should. Now, here so many people might be having some questions. Sir, in order to learn JavaScript, do we need to learn Java first? No. Suppose if it is having the word Java, this means this is not related to Java programming. Java will be different, JavaScript is different. These two are not at all related. Okay, these both are not at all related. Both are completely separated here. Now, so JavaScript programming is purely client-side programming, which will be executing within the browser. Within the browser, it will execute here. We don't want internet access also. Within our local system, within the browser, it will execute automatically here. Now, so now in JavaScript, each and every functionality we are discussing as part of this Lightning framework. You no need to learn JavaScript separately from any other institute. You no need to worry about the JavaScript programming. All the functionalities I will be discussing as part of this Lightning framework concept itself. Now, simple plain thing is, in Apex programming, if you know the fundamental concepts like data types, variables, operators, conditional statements, iterative statements, and then arrays, and then collections. Okay, if you know this concept, JavaScript will be simple, same, no change at all. Here also we have data types, we have that operators, variables, conditional statements, iterative statements, arrays, objects. We are using functions. That's it, nothing else. Same concept we are using here also, but little bit syntactical differences over here. That's it, nothing else. Functionality wise, everything will be same. No need to worry about the JavaScript part. Everything, each and every fundamental basic to advanced level, I will be covering as part of this sessions itself. Okay. Now, so now in this case, by using this Lightning frameworks, it may be ARA, it may be Lightning Web Component, we are going to building our own custom components. We can build our own custom components. Once the component has been built, we can able to reference the component in different places of your application development, wherever you want, whenever you want. Okay, clear? Now, make a note of this one. Make a note of this one. In Lightning framework, each functionality will be implemented in the form of small reusable units called as components. Now, component is nothing but a piece of reusable code. Component is nothing but a piece of reusable code which can be referenced in different places of the application development. Note. Lightning framework is purely built upon component based framework. Lightning framework is purely built upon component based framework. Salesforce provides two Lightning component frameworks as below. First one, ARA framework. This is also called as Lightning framework, which they have introduced in 2016. Second one, Lightning Web Component Framework. Is also called as LWC in December 2018. These are the two frameworks are available from Salesforce, ARA and LWC. Now, in this case, how this Lightning component frameworks will work internally, and what is the basic architecture of Lightning framework, Lightning framework components, we'll see in tomorrow's session. In tomorrow, I would like to discuss about classic MVC, how a normal Visual Force page will work, and how the Lightning page will work. That means Lightning component will work. So, what is the major architectural changes that Salesforce made as part of this Lightning framework? We'll see, and what are the benefits that we have with this Lightning framework, where we can use this Lightning framework. We'll see tomorrow, and then we'll see how to build Lightning applications, Lightning components. Everything we'll see one by one over here. Okay. Now, don't worry about the JavaScript programming. Everything fundamental to advanced level, I will discuss in the class itself. Okay. Now. Sorry? Now, tomorrow. Okay. So, tomorrow we are going to be discussing about the framework components first. That means the designing part will concentrate first. Once the designing part has been done, then we'll enter into the client side business logic through JavaScript. Then we'll enter into server side business logic, step by step approach over here. Right. Yes, right. Here also. Suppose, for example, here, so all the people are addicted with WhatsApp nowadays. Okay, everything we are going to be you performing with the help of WhatsApp only. It may be audio based or video based conversation. Everything we are doing through WhatsApp itself. Suppose in future, if WhatsApp people made that application as paid, then we have to pay that here for that. If you're completely addicted with that, then we have to pay. If you're not paying, it won't work. Then we have to go for other alternative here. Now that is a problem. Here also, as part of this ARA programming, so now ARA programming is a third party. It's not own framework of own programming of Salesforce. That's what here right now we are depending on ARA programming. So this is not for 1 year, this is not for 2 years, this will be for lifelong. In future, if that programming language is made it as license based or paid, then at that time our applications will be getting affected. Our components will be getting affected, so that instead of relying on third party, they want to do everything by their own. For that one, they are introducing their own framework, Lightning Web Component here, so that here they are going to be avoiding ARA framework in future. Okay, that is the basic reason behind this. Okay. Okay, so tomorrow we'll continue with that. Okay, some more functionalities, how a normal Visual Force page will work, and how this Lightning framework will work. Okay, architectural wise, we'll see all the changes and the benefits of Lightning framework, where to use Lightning framework, how to create Lightning application, what properties are available, what tags are available, everything we'll see one by one. Okay, initially we'll go with ARA framework, then we'll go with that Lightning Web Component framework. Okay, thank you.